right? The brain is the first thing I inspected, and it's in a safe place until it comes time to use it. It'll just sit up there quietly on the shelf where nothing will be near it. I have brain dome. Okay, I'm getting ready to go over the B9 robot parts, and I'll see which ones I can fit in the rack stack. Okay, first we'll start off with the instruction sheet. I'll take some pictures and we'll go over the first process, which is the brain. The very first parts to go together, of course, the innards of the brain, which are primarily gloss aluminum, but there are some clear parts that go in there. I remember doing this before, and it's reasonably delicate. You got to be careful. It's like, well, I guess no more than you would with really any model. But so let's get started on that after we get the parts stacked. First bag is torso elements. Let's take a look at those. The straight 4 pieces that make up the torso section. Pretty straightforward. I'll go ahead and trim these off real quick and put them back in the bag. There are some injector points that are going to require some sanding. I've already ground these down, but not a big deal. But you'll need a reasonably heavy grit to smooth them out. I trimmed them off first, of course, but you're going to have to sand them down. Smart enough to make the trunk section where it basically only fits one way. Make sure you get your little power pack hole on the correct side, which I believe is on the right side. A nice little pressure fit. Now let's just get the top and bottom on it. All right, I'm just holding the parts in place. Snug fit. There are some alignment pins on the bottom part. Or not pins, but little grooves. They're very subtle, but they do help you get it aligned, which is all they're really there for. Now, this is where I made a mistake on the original build. I had tested everything, then I painted the parts separately and then tried to put it back together and had a real devil of a time, a lot of sanding, particularly on the top because the fit was so snug that paint on both parts made it not fit. So this time I will be probably putting these together before I paint it. And of course it'll be a brush aluminum. Or perhaps what I'll do is just tape off the rims and everything because, you know, you have to be able to get inside this thing once you're done. I'll play with it and see which way is going to work best. And, of course, you'll have the seam down the side. Oops. And you'll have the seam down the side. Sealing that up, I'll have to look at the original robot and see if the seam was visible or not. I don't think it was, so... but it is a nice, as you can tell, it's a nice snug fit, so that shouldn't be much of a problem. There's a small decal sheet. I believe these are for the buttons on the robot's chest and a couple of lights. Next is the bag with all of the flexible rubber components. And one of the things I really appreciate is that the arms are one piece, even though they have seams, obviously mold seams, which is fine. But you also have the contracted arms. You have your choice of one or the other. And of course the legs, but it really saves a lot of grief that those are made out of a vinyl. Looks better. And you guys tell me what you think, but I don't think with that color, I don't think that needs to be painted. What say you? On the last robot, I used the short arms because I knew we were going to be shipping it, but I might use the long arms on this one. But I'm going to see if I can arrange it with magnets or something where I can switch the arms out. Next bag has the track and foot oriented parts mostly, and some of the parts of the wrists. I think I can get these on the rack stack. Now we have 2 bags of clear parts, and I'm not going to take these out right now, but some of them are parts that will go in the brain, and of course they're going to get the injection gates off. It's going to take a little very careful filing because they're acrylic. Here we have more miscellaneous, some brain and torso parts, and some of these can go on the rack stack also. Last bag, and I believe that's the top of the leg part, along with some more body parts with some detail in them. And of course the foot tracks. And this altogether is not an overly complex kit. There are a lot of details with things, which we'll see in the instruction sheet, like the brain, but The kit itself goes together fairly quickly. Of course, as with most models, it's the painting, detailing, sanding, putty, that kind of stuff that slows things up. And one thing I remember about these tracks is, although they fit nicely, they have a major seam that goes down the front and back of both of them. And that requires a lot of sanding. And last time I wound up, I just couldn't quite get rid of the seam line. So I wound up using silver mylar tape to cover it. It turned out pretty good, but I'm going to see if I can do this with paint this time, get it puttied out and smoothed out just right. My bag with a few miscellaneous parts that came off the sprues, not a big deal. Now we're at phase 1, step 1A, and I'm already stymied because the top part has to be gloss aluminum with the brain and the bottom part metallic gray, yet for some reason they chose to make them out of clear parts. So I can't really do any building until I do some painting. The way to tell them apart is, aside from the number once they're removed, is that part 17, the bottom, has the stem on it. The two parts fit beautifully with these little butt joints working as spacers, which is the way they're supposed to work. I'm just not exactly sure why they decided to make them out of clear parts. Let me do a little digging before I start painting. For the next phase, we have two repeat runner trees. They have part number 2, which make the back sides of the brain, and they will mate with part number 20, which is the front of the brain. And these also have to be painted. So that's it says medium metallic gray, and then of course we have the little dots inside, which are different colors. To make this look good, I'm going to have to be real careful. I don't remember how I did this on the other model. So here are the primary parts for the electronic brain. They are all clear, and they do have to be painted. And I'm not exactly sure why they decided to make them out of clear parts, but I believe it may be so that you could leave part of it clear through for lighting, maybe, or maybe, I don't know. But I think what I'm going to do is probably just go ahead and paint them, and then I'll just use paint to represent the white and yellow dots for the brain. The clear parts here on the end, the round parts here on part 20, there are clear parts that go there, so I'll probably tape those off and try to keep them clear, or I'll paint them white once I'm done and then put the clear part on top of it like you would do a headlight on a car. And the weather's still pretty nasty outside. I don't think I'm going to get out to painting them today, but I'll set these aside in a bag, and we'll start moving on to the next step. By the way, I realized I'd forgotten to mention in a separate section of the bag, you have these grill parts. A lot of nice detail on this kit. Okay, the first part I'm going to actually add some glue to is parts number 53 right here. They're the base for the brain. All right, the test fit looks good so far. The little number 3 parts are clear, and they're so tiny I'm not going to take them off the sprue till I get them towards the paint booth. They're going to be painted and put in place, but I have to paint all this before I put it together. All different shades of basically aluminum. And then I'll have to do the detail work on the brain faces and sides. It's not hard, but there's definitely a lot of finer detail work in there. But I want to make this look real pretty. Now, this part I have glued together so that I can sand it down after it's glued at one time. But to get those, it had some very large injection gate marks left, as you can see. And that part might be visible. I think some of the electronic brain's going to cover it, but some of it's going to be visible. But even in the instruction sheet, it shows the lines there. So I'm not really so much worried about the seams. I am just making sure that those gate marks are covered. And it looks like they fall outside the part that goes over it. So that's going to take a little dressing. Well, it's already time to put the halves of the can together, and they're sealing up very nicely. I'm going to have to probably put just a little sanding and some maybe I had to putty or something in there, or maybe I can just cover it with paint, but that's going together nicely. So I'm going to give those two pieces a long time to harden, because I'm going to be sanding that one down pretty good. Well, guys, that's about as far as I got with that this morning. But when the wife and I, this is actually done before breakfast, and when I met up with my wife for breakfast, she had another surprise for me. So life just keeps getting better. Let's go to phase 2. Hello, Blue Troopers. Max and Maxsmodels here. My wife got me my birthday present early. So
your second, this is your second gift.
Second gift. The first gift was what I asked for, which was some C-cable rechargeable lithium-ion batteries.
The first gift was the Deadpool shirt.
Oh, the Deadpool shirt. So that was the second gift. You guys saw the Deadpool shirt on the live stream, if you did your homework assignment. I see looks like a giant lizard. It's a plug-in Godzilla diorama. Now let's see what it does when I plug it in. There's the power hole. Oh, this is that kind of plug-in. So I'll have to go shoot some secondary footage in the office where I can plug this into the computer. Happy birthday to me. Happy birthday to me. Oh, look, the tail even moves. Ta-da! Now that's a Christmas ornament.
Should we see it without the light?
You can.
No, man, in the dark.
Oh yeah. Dun, 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 da, 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 da. Okay, package opening, take 2. It's a Godzilla! It's a Godzilla! It's a Godzilla!
No, it's a tiara! You like it? A tiara! I have a tiara! Put it on me, 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 put it on me. You look beautiful. Of course I do! I'm a princess and this is my tiara! It's a tiara!
It's a Godzilla! It's a Godzilla! It's a Godzilla! Okay, guys, that's it for today. We'll talk at you later, and as always, model on.